Halo Infinite Joint Fire event runs from January 17th through the 31st and brings a free 10-tier battle pass, including armor-themed Halo Reach rewards. Covert, one flag, is the game mode with a 4v4 CTF, with one flag up for grabs over multiple rounds, and attackers have unlimited active camo, while defenders have unlimited threat sensors with plenty of cat and mouse, spies versus mercenaries, carnage to ensue. This is technically the second event for Halo Infinite's multiplayer this year, as the Halo Infinite Winter Contingency event ran from December 20th all the way through January 3rd. And honestly, it is not as good as the Winter Contingency 2 was. So let's go ahead and get into it, and I'll discuss why that is. Some of the main complaints a lot of us have with the Halo Infinite multiplayer events that have been running for over the last year are as follows. 1. The challenges that are involved with the events only show up in limited quantity. They mix in with the regular Halo Infinite challenges throughout the week, and in order to bring in new event challenges, you have to clear out the weekly challenges. This was something that was addressed with the Winter Contingency 2 online event, making all of the challenges just the event challenges. They also removed gameplay-specific challenges with the Winter Contingency 2, meaning that there wasn't a game mode that you had to focus on in order to get the challenges completed. They were a very broad spectrum of challenges that could apply over all the playlists that were available to play. That is not the case with Joint Fire. And this is why it is a huge step back, because if you do not like the game mode, then chances are you may or may not actually want to participate in the online event. And for a game like Halo Infinite that is struggling to keep a player base, this is a mistake that you really cannot afford to make. Now, the rewards for the Joint Fire event are Halo Reach themed armor, and this, I believe, is armor that was excluded from the Season 1 Battle Pass. Originally, the Season 1 Battle Pass had an achievement that, when completed, had an icon that showed 120 tiers. Now, if you played through the first season or played through the first Battle Pass, you'll notice that there were only 100 tiers, meaning something happened in development where they cut out the rest of the Halo Reach themed armor pieces. Now, many of us in the community speculated that this was due to them wanting to sell us back that armor through the shop, but it seems that they've been including some of the pieces in these free events. Now, as far as the actual event goes, this is not one that I particularly enjoyed. I completed it because I wanted the armor pieces to be able to complete essentially the first season set with the Reach armor. There are still some armors that were locked in the cat shop, but as far as what they've given us for free, this is something that I wanted to complete. Covert One Flag is not a game type that I enjoyed whatsoever, and it has a lot to do with the way that it's designed. When it comes to the attackers and the defenders, you are basically set up with the sword or the commando rifle or the pistol and the pulse carbine. And the pulse carbine is probably the worst weapon in the multiplayer. I know that they've recently tried to adjust the weapon to make it more viable to be able to be used, but essentially the best weapons that are available are the sword and the pistol. Now, the sword has a huge reach when it comes to its lock-on and the distance that you can attack from, and the pistol, of course, fires as fast as you can fire the trigger. Now, the sword is immensely overpowering in this game mode. There is not one weapon that they have set up that can counter this. Generally, in previous Halos, you would say you could use a shotgun, and this would be put in, but the shotgun is not a one-shot kill anymore. It's a one-shot in melee at most. The equipment that is given to each side just generally isn't really all that well integrated into the sandbox with the weapons that they've given you. Essentially, the defending side with the commando and the sword, along with the threat sensor, is really overpowering. There's not really much that the attacking side has to really have any sort of advantage or equal when it comes to trying to score the one flag back to your base. With you only having the pistol, the stealth camo, and the pulse carbine, the pulse carbine is essentially useless. The pistol is only good at a specific range, and having the stealth camo completely gets canceled out when you pick up the flag because you want to hurry up to get back to your base to score. Now, the attacking team could have been made a little bit stronger to give a little bit more balance. They could have given them the repulsor that could have countered the sword. They could have given them a thruster to be able to try to dodge out of the way of the sword, or even the overshield that would at least have given you a fighting chance when it came to being able to either melee back at the sword or at least withstand one attack from the weapon. And taking a step back from the winter contingency with the challenges is unfortunately something that I have to talk about here as well. The challenges for this game mode were absolutely terrible. I was, again, able to complete the entire event. It took me roughly around 6 hours to do, but I had to get challenge swaps out of the store. I had leftover credits, and I had to swap out challenges that required me to win rounds or win matches. Through the entire 6 hours that I spent with this event, I honestly think I maybe only won one match the entire time. Something that 343 has done, and it's been evident in the past with the last few seasons and the last few events, minus Winter Contingency 2, is that they make challenges frustrating on purpose so that a player will do exactly what I did and buy challenge swaps to get something different that can actually be accomplished. Not everybody has a group of people that they can play with. A lot of people, like myself, jump into matchmaking by themselves. They get put with a random team. And when you are reliant on random people to win a match, they can either happen extremely fast or, in my case, what would have been not at all. I honestly have to say that I thought we were headed in a better direction when it came to the free events and the future seasons with the way that the Winter Contingency 2 was run, with it not being hinged upon a single game mode, where it had challenges that were achievable and not linked to one game mode. And it's just a shame that they've taken a step back into this. I hope moving forward with any other free events and anything moving forward with the next few seasons, if Halo Infinite multiplayer lasts that long, that they will go back and use the Winter Contingency 2 as a blueprint moving forward.